GD-55 Plus. And this is the first 55 Plus that I have. This was a kit. It came with some extras. So this is the best waterproof DMR radio. It is 10 watts. And I heard so many things about this radio that are just good. It's a better radio than the 77 I hear, although it's not dual band, which makes it a little bit less popular. But if you don't need dual band, this is 10 watts, which will get you a little bit more distance. So the manual, the programming cable, it is not your standard K connector. It uses a different connector, probably because it's a waterproof connector of some sort, although I doubt this end is. We've got the body. We've got the speaker mic, and that is a hefty-duty speaker mic. That speaker mic is not a cheap mic. And when I say cheap, I mean quality. That is a good feeling mic, but we'll see how it sounds. A battery, belt clip, a better antenna. Wow, that thing is long. I wonder what model that is. A shorter antenna, which I'm sure this antenna actually probably works just fine, but that longer antenna will do better. Standard power connector. And a charging cradle. On the bottom of the charging cradle, they have an input of 12.5 volts and output of 8.4 volts. And it does say Radioddity on it, but it does not say it's for the GD-55. So I'll probably put a label on there so I can remember what this cradle and charger went to. The charger itself doesn't actually say Radioddity on it, so I will also label that. Make sure I know it's for the GD-55 Plus. So here's the radio body, and it's a very heavy feeling body. It's got a cover for the microphone, a tag for the owner, a little button there. I don't think it does anything. And it's got the IP67 waterproof tag along with a air pressure hole. It says do not tamper, so we won't. And it has the FCC logo and a serial number, the Radioddity logo, website. But there's push button and two other push buttons here. You've got, looks like a channel knob and a volume knob and an emergency button. And it's a very similar looking radio to the 77. Here's the extended whip antenna, and it doesn't really have a brand name on it, but it does have the frequency range that it's for on the bottom. The battery also has the Radioddity logo on it. It's a 7.4 volts, 2000 milliamp hour battery for the GD-55 Plus, and it is labeled as such, so it should be pretty easy to identify. It's probably also the biggest battery I have for an HT, so it shouldn't be too hard for me to figure out where it belongs. When installing the battery, you set the battery into here, and you push down, and then you put this clamp on, and that's how you install the battery. Not very complex, but it's not the normal just snap in and it automatically clips in. You actually have to pull this snap back. So to open, you pull that, and it's back in. So now we have power. So here's the speaker mic. That comes with the GD-55 Plus, and it's got the frequency ranges of 400 to 480.
Thanks for your help, Wayne. I'll talk to you later. 89AGH.
Turning software up and the cable attached. The cable connects and it installs as a prolific driver, and I didn't have any issues with the driver. If we go look at the driver and we look at the settings, the driver is going to be version 3.2. If you don't have the older driver installed, you may have to install a downgraded driver, and you can do that at the Miclor website. The first thing you do is you go to the device column here and you change the COM port to the COM port that you want to read from. In this case, it's COM port 3. And the read data will cause the radio to read. After it's done reading, the radio does a reset. And there's the radio reset. Every time I get a new radio, first thing I do is I read in the blank code plug and I save it. And I do this with just about every radio I get, just in case I ever want to go back. Now, to make sure I don't change something and overwrite my base, I go ahead and I start my actual code plug, and I do a save as for the code plug. The great things about this radio is that it's 10 watts. It's not dual band, it's only a 70cm radio, but it's 10 watts. My radio name will become a C9HP because I like to see my own name. And we want channel mode, English, backlit, definitely. My DMR ID is available, so I'm not really too concerned if someone steals it. And I will assume that the rest of the defaults are probably what I want. The intro screen might be something worth changing. It says picture, and I'll change it to text just because then I can do this. I can put my call sign again. And I put IN, which is the Indiana Elmer Network. It's a group I belong to. So here's a frequency mode option. I'm not really sure what this is. I guess this is when you switch to frequency mode. This is the frequency that'll be set, because you can change to frequency mode in the menu. And then we got a zone dialog here. It looks like there's a corrupt zone log, and we'll do add channel analog. And now we have an analog channel below here. And we have a very nice repeater called the W9 ICE repeater, which is a 70cm repeater. It, of course, is analog and uses 25K spacing. I'm not worried about a scan list at this point in time, and the frequency is 442.650. It has a plus offset, which I always found this to be kind of silly in these radios, but you know, the theory is you put in the offset and you hit this copy button, and it updates the frequency over here. In just the same amount of time, I probably could have just typed the frequency in on that side. So our transmit is going to be a tone, CTCS tone, and the tone is going to be 77 for this repeater. High power, and that pretty much sums it up. But we don't worry about the receive tone. I'm not sure if this repeater uses a receive tone, but it may. So that sets up our analog zone with a one channel, which is all I'm going to do for now. So you write to the radio, you go to device, and go to write. And now we're going to get a prompt that says do not shut it off. And again, I assume as soon as it's done writing, we'll get a nice reboot here. Call sign and analog W9 ICE. It doesn't sound like we're going to catch anyone on the repeater, so we'll go ahead and move on to program some analog or some DMR digital repeaters. I've got the radio hooked back up, and I've got the programming software up, and I've already added another, or I have not yet added another zone, but we'll go ahead and add channel. I guess they call that a channel. So that should be add zone, and we'll say N9. We're just going to do T1 for time slot 1. T1. The zone names are very limited. Information is on the indianadmr.org website. There's also another website called Crossroads DMR. Both of these groups are in the Indianapolis area, but for programming purposes, I'm going to use the NF9K Indianapolis repeater. And all the information is on this website, so I'll go ahead and copy this information over. One of the more important things I need is the talk groups, and for demonstration purposes, I really want the parent group, which is 9998. So I'm going to focus on programming a parrot channel. So the first thing to program a channel is you have to have the contact information in here. Under contacts, we'll go ahead and add a digital contact called parrot. That's what we're going to call it. I may end up changing that name later, but for now, parrot is the 9998 room, and it's a group call. On other repeaters, it may be private. So then there's a group list, and on some of these radios, I've noticed that you need to have a group name set up that includes your parrot. So we're going to call this parrot for the receive group as well. I'm hoping on this radio we don't need this, but on the GD-55 you do need the parrot group for receive as well. So the next step, now we have a receive group and a talk group set up. A digital contact is the talk group. It's a group contact, and the list is called the group list, and it's a digital group list. So now we need to go back to the zone and we need to add the channel. So we're going to add digital channel, and then we can hit this little plus mark here and go to channel 1. And for channel 1, we're going to type in parrot. This name is really only a meaningful name to you. It doesn't really matter. So the repeater was on the web page, which I did not write down, but it's 442 450 offset 5 color code 1, and time slot 1 is where parrot is. So right here we're going to do 442.450. We're going to put the 5 offset in here, hit copy. Under contact we're going to put parrot, and then high power, allow to send, and all this other information. The receive group I'm going to go ahead and leave blank at this point in time, and we got color code 1. There it is, slot 1. So we should be set. We're going to go ahead and go to device, write data. Sure, Skylar, I'll get you chocolate milk in just a second. So the radio is going to reset, and then we'll test it. And you go down to the zone, and then you use the arrows to select the zone, push the green button, and you've now selected the zone. I've only got one channel, and we'll go ahead and try it. AC9 HP testing 1, 2, 3. Yep, we're not getting anything. So I went ahead and added the parrot to the group list to see if that was our issue. And we'll go ahead and try again. And the problem was the parrot had the wrong talk group assigned to it. I'm not sure how I did that, but I must have forgot to hit enter. So we'll try it again. AC9 HP test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
AC9 HP test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So that really completes the programming of the radio. I did program the Indiana State group as well. And try this radio out. So maybe I'll have a video of the net in a few minutes after the net's over. Thanks for watching, and if you would, hit like below and subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you, and have a wonderful time with your GD-55 Plus radio.